Set now. Gates are back. And they're off and racing, and Bandersnatch and Gentleman Roy have jumped well. Gentleman Roy is going to take the lead. Alligator Blood sent forward with Bandersnatch. Mr. Brightside handy on the rails, followed by Converge. Now deep out, Lindemann trying to improve and does so. Zugotcha's going with him. They're followed further back than to Cepheus from Golden Mile. Osipenko's buried down on the inside as they go up into the first turn. Now in the second half of the field, we've got Mustang Valley down on the rails. Deeper out, Protagonist from Duke de Sessa. My Oberon from Fangirl. Nuggets back near third last, followed by Lion's Roar and Hope in Your Heart is the last one. Lindemann leads up the Doncaster field, and the lone filly Zugotcha got to second. Then came Gentleman Roy from Alligator Blood. Cepheus off the track going forward. On the outside of Bandersnatch, then came Mr. Brightside. Down on the inside from Golden Mile. Communist out deep going global, the American mare between them. Further back to Osipenko, then came Converge from Duke de Sessa, starting a run out the 600 metres. Further back to Nugget from My Oberon. Fangirl all cluttered up. Mustang Valley the rails. Deeper out, Lion's Roar and Hope in Your Heart. Lindemann spins the corner in front of the Donny. It's Lindemann just in front from the filly Zugotcha. Gentleman Roy, Mr. Brightside cruising up on the inside. Coming down the outside is Nugget with a great run. Zugotcha in front from Nugget the outside, and Mr. Brightside is really starting to lengthen now. Mr. Brightside moved up to join Nugget. Then came Osipenko, Mustang Valley, and My Oberon bursting through. Mr. Brightside in front from My Oberon. Mr. Brightside lifting and goes back to back. Mr. Brightside held on from My Oberon to win the Doncaster again. Nuggets finished in third. Then Osipenko, Mustang Valley, Hope in Your Heart, the post-time favourite. And the gates are back. They're off and racing. Marzu jumped nicely off the inside. In Secret and Maria Mia was sharp into stride. And Passive Aggressive are showing great acceleration together with Nature Strip. Shelby 66 in a prominent role. So Passive Aggressive just leads from Nature Strip, who's got his preferred spot outside the leader. Marzu rails to third from Shelby 66. In Secret off the track together with Maria Mia. Lost and running out very deep from Private Eye. Lofty Strike, Shades of Rose rocketing by. I Wish I Wins the last one. 600 metres to run, and Nature Strip takes the lead clearly now by a length and a half on Passive Aggressive. Marzu rails to third from In Secret. Lost and running out deep. Going through the middle now is Giga Kick in the white cap. Clear from Shelby 66 and Maria Mia. Nature Strip rolls up the rise. 3 lengths clear from Marzu. Passive Aggressive. Giga Kick 5 lengths away. Nature Strip, the world champion sprinter, trying to fend them off. Marzu's the first to challenge. Nature Strip, Marzu. Giga Kick lengthening, and I Wish I Win down the outside. I Wish I Win went past Giga Kick Marzu. I Wish I Win from last. A spectacular TJ win. I Wish I Win knocked off Giga Kick and Marzu. Nature Strip fourth, then came Maria Mia. The 3-year-olds are ready to go. The gates are back now, and the big field is off and racing. Manzoy's taken back with Virtuous Circle. Williamsburg set of stalls jumped out well. Andalus handily into stride together with Pericles. Domingo going forward. Japanese Emperor is trying to push right up along the inside running rail, followed by Elliptical. Then came Major Beel in the first half of the field from Stroke of Luck. Then Cheval Savant from Cesuro. Further back to Tapple Doodle Doo. Just a bit wide, full of sincerity from Twigman. Then came High Approach. Now the favourite is fourth last, Sharp and Smart in a 3-wide position. In advance of Mark Twain, Manzois, and Virtuous Circle is the last one. Domingo races to the lead now, out by a length or so to Major Beel, tugging along in second. Williamsburg drops the head in third on the inside of Andalus. Pericles 3 back the paint, followed by Elliptical. Stroke of Luck stranded 3 wide, trying to go forward. At least he's getting plenty of air today, Stroke of Luck. Then Japanese Emperor in between runners Cesuro, followed by Full of Sincerity there in the white cap, just in advance of Tapple Doodle Doo. Cheval Savant back on the rails. Then came the favourite Sharp and Smart from Twigman. High Approach, Virtuous Circle trying to improve its position from Manzois, and Mark Twain in the blue cap is last of all as the Derby field goes down the back section of the course. 1,300 metres to run. Domingo in front by a half length to Major Beel. Williamsburg still switched off in third position on the inside of Andalus, and Stroke of Luck goes to fifth now in advance of Pericles. Then came Elliptical, wider out Full of Sincerity, and Mark Twain takes off a long way from home, and Bowman gets onto his back on Sharp and Smart. Manzois got got going as well, so a bit of a shuffle up here. It's Domingo leading down the side from Major Beel. Andalus pulls 3 wide. Stroke of Luck 4 wide. Mark Twain, Manzoice deeper out trying to come into the race. Williamsburg back on the fence from Pericles. Elliptical. Sharp and Smart's out pretty deep but plenty of cover with Virtuous Circle. Further back then to Japanese Emperor. High approach. Tapple, Doodle-Doo, Twigman and Cheval Savant's last of a bunching field. Major Bill races to the lead now from Andalus second. Stroke of Luck third. Then Mark Twain from Manzoice. Looping the field is Virtuous Circle and Sharp and Smart still 3 lengths away. Major Bill leads at the 300 metres from Andalus and Virtuous Circle chiming in. Clear from Stroke of Luck. Sharp and Smart still 3 lengths away. Major Bill in front of Virtuous Circle. Virtuous Circle moving up to Major Bill. Major Bill still kicking from Virtuous Circle. Major Bill lifting in the Derby and Major Bill too good, beat Virtuous Circle. Cesuro rattling home into third. Sharp and Smart fourth, followed by High Approach. Then came Elliptical from Stroke of Luck, Andalus. Twinkman, Tapple, Doodle-Doo that was next, followed in by Mark Twain, full of sincerity. Pericles in the second half of the field from Japanese Emperor, ready to go. And they're off and racing. Cylinders jump dead set midfield. Last out Cafe Millennium by a margin. And jumping very sharply as bases loaded there in the yellow cap. Firing out from Brave Mead, Butch Cassidy. And V8 going forward from the wide draw. Cylinder Parks behind. Then came Bolden Blazon, who settles about midfield. Further back then to Militarize and the black cap trying to improve underneath Don Corleone. Mahaba deeper out. Then came Empire of Japan from Peer Pressure. And a length off to Cafe Millennium travelling quite well. Bases loaded in front with V8 zooming up on the outside, going to second. In a 3 wide spot around Disneck. Then came Butch Cassidy. They're followed by Brave Mead just off the speed. Bolden Blazon deep out. They're followed on the inside to Militarize, just shading Don Corleone. Now Cylinders in the second half of the field in a bit of traffic. Followed then by Mahaba from Peer Pressure. And still back last Cafe Millennium together with Empire of Japan coming around the turn. Bases loaded coming away from the rails. Butch Cassidy's got the inside run. Then came Militarize and V8 being revved up by Lane a length further back to Brave Mead. Now Cylinders coming off hills, getting to the outside. Bases loaded being tackled by Militarize. And Militarize storms to the front from bases loaded. Don Corleone's running on and further back to Peer Pressure. But Militarize is on, firing right up here on the English side. Draws away for an emphatic victory. Don Corleone second, Peer Pressure, the lone filly of the field, third in front of V8. Then came Mahaba. Cylinder didn't fire a shot in the straight. Then came Bases Loaded from Brave Mead. A gap back to Cafe Millennium from Empire Japan. Butch Cassidy finished back with the Sundance kids there, Disneck and Bolden Blazon. Racing, Moonga hopped up in the air a bit at the start and was one of the last into stride. Unicorn Line jumped sharply to get with New Marion and Animo's right up in the firing line as well. He's a shocker. Parks behind them on the inside of El Patroness and further back to Gear Up, just being restrained midfield but couldn't get in. Dubina's held a spot, one off the fence. Moonga goes along the rails. 2 lengths further back to Montefilia and the last 2 Zayrek on the inside of Alan Kerr. So Damien Lane goes forward on Unicorn Lion and as expected the Japanese runner shows the way by 3/4 of a length to New Marion. 2 lengths away to He's a Shocker, who's taken a spot third on the inside and Animo is up running fourth. McDonald's done his job. They're followed then by El Patroness. 2 lengths further back to Gear Up, 2 further back to Dubai Honor. He's 1 off the fence and about 5 behind Animo on the run. Then came Moonga from Montefilia. Well back as Zayrek and Alan Kerr is the last one. No one dares to rattle the lion cage up front. It's Unicorn Lion has the lead on his own by 3/4 of a length to Numerian. Then came He's a Shocker and Aussie Animo's up running fourth, followed by El Patroness. Then came Gear Up from Moonga. Dubai Honor hasn't got going as yet. Still about 4 lengths behind Animo on the run. Further back to Montefilia. Then came Zayrek and Alan Kerr's last in the Queen Elizabeth of 2023. And Unicorn Line at the 600 metres. Racing boldly in the lead from New Marion. Then He's a Shocker from Animo. Just given a little niggle now by McDonald. And Marquin gets going on Dubai Honor as they flatten for the run home. And and it's Unicorn Lion 2 lengths clear. Anamo's cutting loose. Dubai cutting loose. This is what we've been waiting for. Unicorn Lion being grabbed by Dubai and Anamo in the middle. It's Dubai hitting the lead from Anamo. They beat off Unicorn Lion, but Dubai is drawing clear, and William Haggis has done it again. Dubai by 3 lengths to Anamo. Mawunga rattling home into third. He's a shocker fourth. Then Unicorn Lion from Numerian. Further back to Montefilia. The big field are sent on their way now. Racing here in the Sydney Cup, and Arapaho jump well together with Knight's Order. True Marvel's pretty handy early together with King Frankel, and Cleveland jumped okay but drifting back now. Nerve Not Verve improves early on the inside as Stockman. They're followed then by Made on the improve and the blue cap going past Timor. Then came Explosive Jack. Now Cleveland out deep from Surefire than Pesto. Back in the field is Gold Trip. Sir Lucan getting well back and firing up. Alakahan's found a spot on the fence there in the white cap and the white face. Baron Samadi's well back from High Emotion. And Celino, who won it 2 years ago, is going to settle last of all. So Knight's Order, last year's winner, rolls to the front. King Frankel goes to second. Arapaho gets a great spot. Third leader's back there for Rachel King. They're followed after 2 lengths to True Marvel, and the outside at Nerve Not Verve. Amade in a 3-wide position. Further back to Stockman. Then came Timor on the rails. The favourite Cleveland is caught 3 wide for the trip, and in front of the Explosive Jack, then Surefire, who's hugging the rails. Gold Trip the outside. Further back to Pesto, then Baron Samadi, also on a 3-wide trailing spot as they turn out of the straight. Further back to Alakahan, then Sir Lucan. He looks to have switched off a bit better now, Sir Lucan. He's normally used to being a lot closer up to the lead. Well back then is High Emotion, and last of all in the white cap is Celino. So Knight's Order goes to the 1800 metres with 2 lengths to spare. From King Frankel, Arapaho getting a very economical run in the race. Clear then from True Marvel. Further back to Nerve Not Verve. Then came Amade from Stockman. Now Cleveland deeper out. Looks like McAvoy's creeping a little bit closer. to more there on the yellow, in the yellow cap, buried down on the fence. Further back to Explosive Jack from Surefire. Then came Gold Trip. Further back to Pesto. They're followed then by Alakahan down on the rails. Baron Samadi deeper out. Looks to be starting a slow run. Well back is Sir Lucan from High Emotion. And still Celino is the last one. Down the back, they've got 1,200 metres to go on the Sydney Cup. Knight's Order has the lead all on his own. Knight's Order out by 2 lengths to King Frankel. Arapaho still sits a handy third, clear from True Marvel. They're followed then by Nerve Not Verve on the inside of Amade, then Stockman. Further back to Cleveland there, just in advance at Timor. Then came Explosive Jack, Gold Trip. Now right up on the inside is Surefire. They're followed further back by Pesto from Alakahan, High Emotion, and Sir Lucan. Baron Samadai still well back as well. Down the side of the course, Knight's Order in front. Knight's Order under plenty of pressure. King Frankel given a real wind up at this point. True Marvel pulling out. Arapaho still tucked away on the fence, followed by Nerve Not Verve. Amade under the pump. Stockman under the pump. Further back to Timor. Nothing making any ground at the moment as Clark goes for home on Knight's Order. Arapaho's been the stalker, and True Marvel at big odds. Nerve Not Verve running on from King Frankel. Many lengths away to the rest. True Marvel. True Marvel moved up on the outside of Arapaho and Knight's Order. Explosive Jack, the only one making any type of ground. It's True Marvel in front for Kathy O'Hara in the Sydney Cup. But here's Jack. Explosive Jack over the top, won the Sydney Cup. Explosive Jack ran down True Marvel and Knight's Order third. Then came Arapaho. Gates are back now. They're off. Art flops out the back. Plenty have jumped well. Byron Bell, Premise in particular, Pavitra near the inside. Mountain Guest being sent forward. Soul Choice will take a trail today on the inside of Fire Burn, then jolted 3 wide early. Further back to Frankie's Me Dad on the inside of Polygon, and Pennyweka 3 wide at the moment. Arts has gone down to the rails from Pierre Rosser, then Stormy Witness. Further back to So Dazzling. And last of all is Faye's Angel. So they sort themselves out. Pavitra shows the way by a length and a half to Byron Bell and Mountain Guest pushing on the outside. Mountain Guest gets to second now. Stable Metal hand up Byron Bell, and Soul Choice is tucked away on the rails. Length and a half then to Premise from Frankie's Me Dad. Jolt is cast 3 deep on the in advance of Fireburner. Pennyweka's 3 wide but has a back to follow. Arts is down on the rails from Polygon, then So Dazzling from Parossa, and the last two, the roughies, Phase Angel and the inside is Stormy Witness. 1,400 metres to run, and Pavitra shows the way. Mountain Guest eventually got to second. Soul Choice third. 2 lengths away to Byron Bella clear fourth, and Jolted creeping a little bit closer out deep on the outside of Frankie's Me Dad. Then came Premise, one off the fence. Then came Pennyweka. The New Zealand Oaks winner is cast 3 wide the trip. In advance of Arts on the rails, then Fireburn. Further back to Parossa from So Dazzling. Now Polygon's got shuffled well back from Stormy Witness, and Phase Angel is last of all. They start the run down the side of the course now, and Pavitra leads by a half length to Mountain Guest. Soul Choice given every hope third, followed by Byron Bell. Jolted being revved up on the outside, trying to get into the race. Further back to Frankie Me Dad from Premise. Now Pennyweka will have to come off the heels of Jolted, is going nowhere at the moment, and Pennyweka starts a good run around the outside of the field. 600 metres to run. Pavitra's rolling up front by 2 lengths on Soul Choice. Mountain Guest has had enough. Frankie's Me Dad, Pennyweka giving chase. Premise getting to the outside, and further back to Archers railing through with a good run into the straight. Pavitra shows the way from Pennyweka. Archers getting up the inside. Premise down the outside with So Dazzling. It's Pennyweka and Premise. So Dazzling between them. Then Arts back on the rails. It's Pennyweka. She's lifting Pennyweka from Premise and So Dazzling. They beat off Arts. It's Pennyweka trying to fend off So Dazzling. She does so and becomes a dual Oaks winner. Pennyweka goes on to win it by 2 lengths to So Dazzling. A gap back to Premise third, just in front of Fireburn. They beat off Arts. Then came further back to Phase Angel has beat plenty home. Pavitra off here in the Queen of the Turf. And Alcohol Free jumped out midfield. Cyrileo missed fast out. Together with Excelita, Pride of Jenny showing muster. Purple Pay wide out showing muster, and Alcohol Free slips up into a great spot behind them as Fine Point surges forward. Statement quickly on the improve, parks outside the favourite. Now in the second half of the field there, we've got Hope in Your Heart at Tissues down on the rails. Deeper out Promise of Success just easing back a little bit. Further back to More Secrets improving on the rails. From Hinge to Gets Back, we bring the ransom, and Roots is one of the last ones. They find their spots, and Pride of Jenny's going to lead up at the 1,000 metres clearly from Cyrileo Miss. Purple Pay got to third. Alcohol Free railing through underneath Excelita. A length and a half to Fine Point. Then came Statement. 2 further back to a Tissue. Over on the inside of Hope in Your Heart and Times Square out 3 wide. Further back to More Secrets at this point. As they travel up to the turn, Promise of Success is off the track. They're followed then by Roots. Then came Bring the Ransom, and Hinged as well back as they come up to the home corner now. Levante's about 6 last on the turn. Into the straight. Pride of Jenny goes for home. Alcohol Free, the boom mare giving chase. Pride of Jenny up the rise, a length and a half to Alcohol Free, and a Tissue just cruised into it. A Tissue into the front, and More Secrets giving chase. Forget the favourite. A Tissue race 2 lengths clear from More Secrets second. Anyone's guess for third, but a Tissue. She's ripping away here in the hands of Nash Rawilla. What a win in the Queen of the Turf. A Tissue bolts in. Hope in Your Heart stormed home to second. More Secrets third. Hinge from a mile back ran fourth. Then came Lavotte just behind Promise of Success. Further back to Pride of Jenny, Bring the Ransom. Then Times Square, Alcohol Free dropped out. Then Roots from Cyrileo Miss, Statement, Purple Pay, Fine Point and Excelita.